Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Well Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Suze, with my favorite guest.
It seems to be, for sure.
Yeah, well, you're the one I bounce things off of all the time, so it kind of makes sense. So I've wrangled you in today with no preempting, other than just I have some questions.
Yeah, quite the surprise.
Yeah, quite the surprise. So I want to discuss active recovery today because I think a lot of people get that wrong. You have to be able to rest in order to make progression, but it can't be an all or nothing. It has to be strategic. So I want to talk about that. So before we talk about it, I kind of want to set the stage for anybody who's curious as to why this is timely for us in this season. 5 days ago, we were climbing a mountain,
We're being
literally.
crazy.
So we were in Mont Tremblant in Quebec, and we were attempting the 29029 Everesting. And that is where you climb the same mountain and gondola down until you reach the vertical feet of Everest, which is 29,029 feet.
It's an incredibly amazing event
It
to
is.
participate in.
Yes.
And the witness. And it's awesome.
Yes. So just some more background. There's 20 weeks of preparation in that. And through the 20 weeks, they take you through, the training plan takes you through very high workloads with active recovery and all of the things, down to your taper into the event. They also send out a final week after the event to tell you to sit down and take care of yourself, basically, because you've been full throttle basically for 20 weeks. You did 36 hours. Some of us did 36 hours on the mountain. And now your body is saying, I'm tired, but your brain is geared in towards got to go, because that's where you've been focused for the last 20 weeks. So this is not theory. This is something both of us are actively living out this week, a little differently, but living out, I think is fair to say. So I think what I want to preface with and what I want to take away from this is recovery isn't a pause between the work. It actually is the work sometimes, and you have to be okay to do that and not feel as if you're going backwards in the wrong direction. So tell me, what does 5 days post 29029 feel like in your body right now?
We've been Whoop. This is not an endorsement, but it is an endorsement. We've been Whoop wearers for 7 years now. Mm-hmm. So it has a lot of my data, a ton of my recovery data. And when I look at since the event, because again, we're awake for, 20 plus hours, 24 hours. Minimum. And, and what that looked like the next day, waking up at 1%, and then what it's gotten to, and in about 3 days' time, my recovery's been good according to what it measures. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, spent 2 hours with a massage therapist, getting into some really deep tissue work. So I feel like there's a lot of me that's starting to feel recovered, but you're right about the brain part of it. It's like it's every day there was a ton to do, especially for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Yes,
you're really amped up, getting you ready for the event. I still can't feel my big toes because they took a beating, and so there's physically and mentally are different for me. I think for the most part, I'd say physically I'm probably 80 to 85% feeling recovered 5 days. Mentally, I'm ready to get back to work. Mm-hmm. I said one of the hardest things for me was not having any weight training. It's a big shift for me to go from lifting a weight to endurance training. My body's not built for that specifically. So I'm anxious to get back to that in the gym and put myself under some physical duress on purpose. But I also, there's parts of me, specifically my feet, that still need some time. I really, when I went to bed last night, my idea was I'm going to get up and go ruck tomorrow morning. Like, it was really on my brain. And when I got into bed, I'm like, I still can't feel my toes. And maybe that's not a good idea. So I had been through the massage yesterday, and when I left that, I really felt good. Like she did a really good job of helping me with that. So I think that still listening to my recovery based on what I feel like is not ready. Like it's not going to hurt my big toes to go lift some weights tonight, you know. But if I'd have thrown on a 40-pound ruck vest and ruck for 45 minutes,
your feet would be screaming.
I think my toes would have been like, "What are you doing, dude?"
Yeah.
But again, it's that mental battle. I have been, let's go. You know, and I still step on the scale and go, man, I'm 4 pounds lighter than I was, you know, before we left for the mountain. And then for a guy who's been weight training his whole life, like looking at the scale and going, I'm light is not a good thing. You know? So there's a mental aspect of it that I think I'm still going through.
So walk me through the last 5 days. What have you been doing, or on the flip of that, deliberately not doing?
So what I have been doing is watching my hydration a lot. I've been probably as hydrated as I've ever been. I mean, super hydrated. I'm drinking at least a gallon or more of water every day. The massage was a thing, you know, that we needed to do. And like my food consumption, I mean, I would say I'd say better than average job of watching our diets anyway. But, you know, the week leading up to the event was super high carbohydrates. It was not my normal typical.
Stockpiling.
You know?
Yeah.
And since I've gone back to what's quote-unquote normal for me, which is a higher level of protein, you know, average carbohydrates. And so that's been intentional to get back to that, but intentionally not being on my feet. Like I have been intentional about not. Like I said, my idea was this morning I was going to go on a ruck, and the intentionality of, I mean, I was tired still, but I had the energy, but I just like my feet aren't ready.
Right.
So there was an intentionality behind not being on my feet.
Is there anything that your body has been feeling or asking for that surprised you? Things maybe you didn't expect to be hearing from your body at this point?
Yeah, it's weird. I just mentioned it, but yesterday I got, maybe it was Tuesday or Wednesday, like either Tuesday or Wednesday this week.
Today's Thursday for reference.
So I could have eaten a loaf of bread. Like I just wanted some type of high carbohydrate food. Because again, I've switched. I've moved back to way more protein during the day. And when I say way more, it's 200 to 250 grams of protein every single day, which doesn't leave a lot of space for carbohydrates. Like if you're going to watch total macros. And so, but I was craving something. I mean, just some type of carb. I didn't care. I'd have eaten a box of Pop-Tarts. I mean, it didn't matter to me. So I think there's been a physical craving for, I don't know if it's the sweets, because you eat so many sweets.
You get sweet fatigue bad over the course of the event.
You know, so you get to the point where you don't want another one. You know, your body's tired of eating them, but it's the quickest place you can get energy.
Right.
So you do get sweet fatigue, and I think I've come away from that and go, okay, well, where's the sweets, bro? You know, so that's probably been the biggest thing. Yeah, that's probably my biggest.
Yeah. So I think from a clinical perspective, and this is something I don't know that people understand, so I'm going to explain it as best I can. So what our bodies just went through was not just about like the muscular stress or the skeletal stress. It was immune system, adrenal system, nervous system, gut function, big one, hormone regulation. All of that was on high alert the whole time. All of it took a hit. All of it's tired. So when people come off of these events, sometimes, a lot of times, they'll catch a cold or they'll, you know, catch the next bug that's coming through. And the reason is their body is depleted. It's tired. It's trying to do its job. And I think the other part that people miss is the fitness gains that you get through training, you don't get those post-event. There are no fitness gains to be had. Your body's tired. It's just trying to recover and repair. So resting isn't putting you backwards. You're not walking yourself in the wrong direction. Because if you continue to try and progress and move forward, all you're going to do is continue that high cortisol load that came from the event. And that's going to cause a lot of muscular breakdown, systemic breakdown, immune response, and all those kinds of things. So knowing that and saying that it's active recovery, are you feeling guilty right now, or are you feeling pretty at peace with it?
Yeah, it's like I said, it is hard. And I want to go back to a moment on the mountain. There was a moment on the mountain where I had to, you don't ever walk back down the mountain, right? You walk
the goal
up
is
it,
right.
You walk up it and you gondola down. But we were, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred yards from the start line. It was ascent. I can't remember, it was 4 or 5.
I want to say it was 5.
And I was having severe cramps. I mean, to the point that I couldn't walk. I mean, every step, my legs would try to lock up. And knowing it wasn't a hydration issue. And Patrick walked by, and you and I were sitting there having this conversation. And he plainly put it out there. What about going to the recovery tent? Which everybody goes, don't go there because it sucks you in and you won't want to leave. But, doing exactly that, which is so backwards to what I'm trying to achieve. Like I knew, I got probably 10-minute walk down, right, to get on the gondola. It's 12 minutes up, so that's 22 minutes. They're going to work on me for 20 minutes if I don't have to wait. Okay, so now I'm at 40 minutes, and I got a 12-minute ride back now. I'm wasting an hour, and that was 2/3 of a hike for us because we were hiking at about an hour and a half per cent, hour 45 minutes per cent. I'm like, well, that's going to put me really behind. But what Patrick said was, Chris, going backwards is not going backwards.
Right.
You're going to need that work to do anything because I couldn't walk anyway.
Right. I mean, we were having to kind of pause and let you kind of reset.
Every 50 yards.
Yeah.
It was bad. And so, and then I went to the recovery tent and watched that guy go into a full body cramp, which was crazy. Different story. But when I left the recovery place, I know that 20 minutes or the hour total got me 4 more cents.
Right.
I could not have done those 4 cents without pausing and making the decision to walk backwards down the mountain and to go, I'm going to put myself in the best place to do the best I can.
Right.
And so I keep going back to that. Like I said this morning, I really did want to get out of ruck. It was a cool morning, 69 degrees. It was beautiful. And this would be a great morning for it. But I don't think my body's ready yet. And rather than pushing, but yeah, there is a definite guilt thing in that because you've been so ready to go. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now pause. But I think, okay, well, on that ascent, we have been going, and my body goes, no, you got to do something different. So I paused.
Right.
And then the pause gave me more than I could have gotten otherwise. So I keep trying to go back to that decision without feeling super guilty. But I do know that tonight my feet are not going to be involved in my weight training, so there'll be some weight training tonight.
So the more is more, we call it a fallacy. The more is more fallacy in performance culture. So in fitness and business, wellness, all of that has people building identities around output versus results. And I think it's important to distinguish the two because it's like being busy but not productive kind of thing. So when you look at recovery, in that mindset, recovery leads to weakness. But again, that's kind of a fallacy because recovery is actually what helps you make progression forward over time. I think it was like training week, maybe 14. They've all run together at this point. We had really heavy, 1, 2, 3 days. And then we had a complete rest day. Like you do nothing. And that whole day I was feeling like what is missing in my day? I'm missing something. Like, what am I not doing that I need to be doing? Because that had become such an integrated part of every single day prior to that. I found it really hard to kind of yes, it was really hard to kind of just check out and not want to do anything that day. So what part of your your mental space right now is kind of feeling like I need to be doing more than I'm doing?
Oh, that's definitely a voice.
How loud is that voice on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being like whisper, and 1 being a whisper, 10 being is like right there in your ear screaming at you.
A good 8.5.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think spending so much time in the body space.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to when we were competing, and one of the things that Hani and I had lots of conversation about was rest.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, he was training Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and he said almost every conversation they had was not about training; it was about rest, because he wouldn't rest. And Dwayne said to him, "I know this candle I'm burning is only going to burn for so long, so I got to get it while I can."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that bleeds over into almost everything. I think there's this idea of, well, I've gotten myself to be as fit as I've been in a while, and if I'm missing a day, then I'm going backwards. Like it's a again, a fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're used to just like the and I'm going to call it a grind, then when you don't, you're like, okay, well, I've taken a step backwards,
right?
And because I've only weight trained like 2 times in the last 6 months, and I had this conversation the other day with somebody. Like, I grabbed dumbbells that would be like a 3rd set warm up, and they got heavy by the 3rd set, and I'm like, this is not good,
right?
But I know all that'll come back.
Right.
So I mean, having spent time in the space, knowing how quickly some things can fade away. But if I'm just looking at my overall physical health, I know I've got to listen to the 1.5. I just said it was an 8.5, which means that there's 1.5 that's going, nope, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to listen to the 1.5 because
mm-hmm.
that 8.5 is like go.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've given your nervous system ample time to kind of down regulate from the stress level of the event? And while you're thinking of your answer, I just want to preface to everybody who's listening. So we took a break, went and took, I'm going to say a very light nap. It was not deep sleep, but it's almost impossible for your body to go to sleep after having been at that high level for so long. And it was roughly at the 24-hour mark, give or take, for us. So we had been going for that long, and you would think you would be exhausted and your body would very quickly fall into sleep, and that is not true because your nervous system is still like wide open.
Yeah. I think what I have seen is, it's really easy for me to fall asleep. Like, if you look at, according to my Whoop data, like, it's from the time I hit his pillow to the time that I'm asleep is about 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's been harder for me to get into a wind down mode. Mm-hmm. So I think that's part of it. I think there is still some nervous system activity. Mm-hmm. So I would say, I'm getting better. Last night I fell asleep pretty quick. Mm-hmm. So what's that, day 3?
4.
Day 4. So I think I'm getting there. I would say if I continue down this path, I think by Sunday, which would be about 7 days beyond it, I think I'll be back into my normal routines. What I did notice this morning was that my sleep patterns last night were the most regular they've been. So I think I'm getting close to being there, because like my sleep patterns Sunday night, Monday night, and even Tuesday night were not my normal sleep patterns at all. It was super dysregulated, lots of waking events and all that. Last night I had 1 waking event,
right.
So way better.
Good. So right now you're in full rest. And I'm not. Right. So just as a preface, that's not reckless. It's actually intentional, because I'm going back out and doing that madness all over again.
In 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks. Yeah. 4 weeks from today is when I will be checking in and gearing up, and let's go. So Whistler is roughly 4 weeks out. So I've been in very intentional do nothing mode to let my nervous system kind of settle, because I've had a really hard time with recovery. I have still not hit a green recovery. I've not even really hit a high yellow yet. which is frustrating, but that's a whole different conversation. But yesterday was the first day that I had actually done anything, intentionally done anything. I mean, obviously we're on our feet, we're doing, life, whatever. But I went and did, and I'm going to say very light walk yesterday afternoon, just to kind of test the waters, more to see if my brain was going to check out on me than if my body was ready. Because I think that that's where my gap is right now. It went fine. What is it going to look like? And you can't really say because you're not there yet, but what do you think it's going to look like helping me to navigate these next 4 weeks? Because in the training plan for Whistler, this Saturday should be a 7-hour day. Now, doing that 7 hours on my part would be incredibly foolish and reckless. But what do you anticipate being your, I don't want to say struggle, but frustration maybe, or I don't know what word to use in being on the other side of your event and then seeing that I've still got one to go?
I mean, to some degree, it'll be like a little bit of fear of missing out. There'll be some of that.
You're volunteering, so you'll be there.
So
you'll be in it.
I'm going to be there with you, and we're going to volunteer and help the people that are on the mountain, which we did last year at Mont Tremblant. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
Whistlers make the event, by the way. I mean, volunteers make the event. Yeah, they just
so fun.
It's so good.
It's so fun. So I think that'll be my saving grace, is knowing that I'll be out there with purpose. But watching you being training, because there's going to be a long training day. I mean,
there's going to be 2 of them.
So and we have been doing a lot of those side by side, and not doing it. I mean, I'm
not going to ask you to get out and do it.
I am
not going to ask that of you.
I'm ready to train my body in a much different way.
Yeah.
So I think that will be the fear of I would say, I'll call it FOMO, a little bit of like, what am I going to be missing out on? Especially since I didn't finish. I think if we had gotten a red hat, I'd come into that way different.
Yeah.
I would come in feeling accomplished and like, okay, I've got one under my belt. And at this point, I feel good that you'll be able to. Avery has now have 2 of them.
Right.
And I'm the one who started this madness, and I don't have one yet. So there's a little bit of that there too.
Yeah. So if someone is listening right now, maybe not an endurance athlete, maybe not an athlete of any kind, but just somebody who's been pushing really hard through life and hasn't stopped, what would you say to them right now from where you sit right now after having 5 days of actual rest and recovery from something hard?
Man, that's a good question. So I think that I think it would have to be a measured result. I think you'd have to, and what I mean by that is do the hard thing, which is rest, and then measure the results after. Because I think that's what you and I have been, again, we've done this multiple times. We've been in the physique space a lot. And we know the importance of rest because we have been able to measure the importance of rest. We've been able to measure the rebound, right?
And the results.
Like a dead cat bounce, right? It's like the gain to come from taking a breather is so big, and we've seen it happen. So the advice I'd give would be take a breather, pay attention. Like, how does your body feel? How are you sleeping? Like, do you have a ton of brain fog? That's a real thing. 'Cause I can tell you, like, Sunday, even driving to the airport Sunday, like, it was, my brain didn't want to function correctly. And I mean, and I'm the one driving, but I just didn't. It didn't feel right. And so, and I'd say coming into Monday at work, it probably was not at its highest level. Tuesday, I kind of felt better about that. But just recognizing and taking inventory, like, how am I feeling mentally? How am I sleeping? Like, what's hurt? Because one of the decisions I made was to not do another ascent with Avery. And I said it then. I was making the decision do I need to go from hurt to injured?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a difference between being hurt and then being injured. Injured requires some
intervention.
Some intervention. And hurt is, I'll get over it. And I made the decision to just live in hurt and not risk injury.
Right.
So I think recognizing, hey, what hurts, and I think taking that inventory, and then being actively engaged every day of taking that inventory until we feel like, okay, well, now I feel like I'm ready to go again. I'm sleeping good. I'm all the things are sitting in the right spot, and then give yourself a month and go, could I have been here if I hadn't done that?
Right.
Like just look at the gain, like whatever that gain is, whether it's a time to mile or how you're lifting weights and the amount of weight you're lifting, whatever your sport is. Like look at how you're performing after giving yourself a reset.
Right. So I sent an email out to my list Tuesday, I believe. My days are running together this week still. I'm not like, I know what day of the week it is, but I can't remember what day I did things. Brain fog. And one of the points that I made in there was doing Mont Tremblant and then going to Whistler right after kind of mirrors how life treats you sometimes, because you'll just come out of a hard thing and you go right back into a hard thing because life doesn't always give you the space in between to catch your breath. But the point of knowing that and understanding that and applying that is that your tolerance to hard gets better. And it's not that the hard is any less hard. It's just your response to it, your body's reaction, your mental reaction to it is not as extreme. And that's not that you go numb. It's not really that. It's just that the more you are exposed to hard things, the less your body is going to freak out and ramp up and do all of those things. But when you do get to a point where they're just kind of coming one after the other, you do have to make that hard choice of saying, okay, I'm going to sit this one out. Because the recovery process that is required and needed is required and needed. Because if you ignore it long enough, your body is going to not let you do those hard things anymore. So you can look at it in terms of, I want to do these hard things now and do as many as I can, or I want to do them for as long as possible. You have to make that decision. And if you're not really engaging in that recovery process and that rest process, your body's going to make that choice for you. Yeah. And active recovery, just for anybody who's listening, does not mean being a couch potato, eating all of the desserts and just not caring. That's not at all what we mean with that. Active recovery can mean just get out and walk around your yard for 15 minutes after dinner. It can mean, putting your feet up and taking relaxing things, but not just disregarding all the things that you know.
Right.
So
yeah, it's choosing the long game.
Yeah, for as long as possible. So if this resonates, if you feel like we're crazy, it's okay if you tell us. We already know it. We don't hide it. But if it resonates with you and you've got more questions, please reach out. Would love to be of service to you. Until next time.